allow me to present the world premiere of our latest expansion to the Fast and Furious saga.
Yeah, this is, it's amazing to see that trailer finally.
Fast and Furious Crossroads is a vehicle-focused action-adventure game released for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC in 2020. Based off the popular and long-running Fast and Furious films, the game is set in the same universe and features several of the same characters.
Now, for those unfamiliar, the Fast and the Furious franchise began with the simple story of an undercover LA cop embroiled in a street racing and hijacking community, and has since evolved into massive, globe-trotting action flicks with an emphasis on vehicles, muscular bald dudes, and explosions. Oh, and family.
Usually when a movie property is translated into a video game, you don't typically see the star actor step off the film screen into the role of a game producer. But with the Fast and Furious franchise, this is definitely not the case.
That's because these smashy, explosive Motorhead films star none other than self-proclaimed video game mega fan Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel? Star of Breaking in the USA?
Moving real good makes you feel nice, and once you have that, you got all the spice.
Righteous! And he's not just a talent in cinemas and on the dance floor, apparently. Diesel is also founder of Tygon Studios, a game company involved in several productions, most notably The Chronicles of Riddick: Escape from Butcher Bay, a game that surprised everyone at the time for being a licensed film franchise title that was, get this, actually good.
A playable film-based property released in the 2000s that wasn't a third-rate churned-out turd? You must be taking crazy pills.
And shockingly, the game wasn't just a remake of one of the Riddick films either. Instead, it was a standalone story that held its own with stellar graphics, varied first-person gameplay, and an astounding amount of polish.
So when news of a Fast and Furious game came along, one that would be a standalone story like Butcher Bay and involve the same celebrity talent, people started getting very excited.
And there was even more news! Vin's Tygon Studios would be involved alongside Slightly Mad Studios, the developers of the acclaimed Project Cars series.
You've got top-tier game talent, a highly recognizable actor passionate about video games, and a high-octane, explosive action series all working together. It seems impossible for the game to veer off course.
Heck, we were so excited that we picked up the game right at launch.
And everything you're about to see is what we got with that day one experience.
Let's start our engines, hit the NOS, and ride full tilt with Fast and Furious Crossroads.
We begin our story jumping instantly into gameplay, speeding through the streets. Dom, played by Vin Diesel, and Letty, played by Michelle Rodriguez, have been informed by a Mr. Nobody that a serious international threat may be afoot. They need to stop it.
Whoa, thrilling! But who exactly are our protagonists? Why are they driving flashy souped-up cars? Who is Mr. Nobody?
If this is your very first taste of the Fast and Furious franchise, you're not gonna know any of that, because this game simply doesn't tell you.
Apparently, all we need to know is that Dom and Letty are hunting down a dangerous fugitive.
And eventually they find him, driving a massive flamethrower tank. How does one take down a Goliath fire-spewing military-grade beast?
With the harpoon gun, our heroes conveniently mounted to one of their cars, despite neither driver actually knowing the fugitive was fleeing, or that he'd be doing so in Guile's sonic boom tank.
No way! Wait!
Oh, come on. Surely it would take more than Captain Ahab's weapon of choice mounted to a street racer to actually take that thing down.
You're right. Dom also has wheel spikes attached to his shiny 70s muscle car. They have no issue disabling what are likely extremely reinforced army tank treads.
Oh, okay, so this has all the realism of a Saturday morning cartoon show. Gotcha!
The tank is down. The driver hobbles out looking a bit shaken, but very much alive. Good. I'm sure Dom and Letty need to ask him more than a few questions. Is he?
I don't know.
Yay! He's not dead! They interrogate the tank driver, who reveals information about a mysterious group called the Tatacol, an organization of ancient highway robbers. They're up to no good, and clues point our heroes to Barcelona.
Psst.
What?
I think you're supposed to pronounce it Barcelona.
Oh.
The assailant is knocked out. Letty drives off, and Dom stands in the middle of the road, announcing to absolutely no one,
They want to play with fire? Then let's turn up the heat.
Fire? What's that even in reference to?
maybe he's talking about the flame tank he just took out?
Dude, that was like 5 minutes ago.
Okay, so you may be thinking, hey, that actually looked like a pretty fun action-packed first stage. So what is wrong with this game?
Let's shift it into reverse. Right from the start, Fast and Furious Crossroads is a game about controlling vehicles. So, of course, this begs the question, how's the driving?
See, there are multiple kinds of driving games out there, but usually they can be broken down into one of two camps.
Arcade style, which usually simplifies driving and can include weapons, crazy levels, and interesting takes on maneuvers like drifting. Think games like Mario Kart, Cruisin', and Burnout.
And then you've got simulation style, titles that lean more into realism in their driving. These can include pro racing tournaments and time challenges, games like Gran Turismo, Forza Motorsport, and even Slightly Mad Studios' very own Project Cars.
So what camp is Fast and Furious Crossroads in?
This camp.
Seriously, Crossroads doesn't know what it wants to be.
We've got simplified controls for real-world vehicles, which are mixed in with fire-spewing enemies that you have to use weapons to take down. Oh, and while all of this is going on, you can switch between anyone in your driving crew by tapping the D-pad. Suddenly, you need to utilize different abilities and weapons between multiple characters all at once. Confusing? Yes. But believe it or not, the steering in this game is even more bewildering.
You never feel like you're properly controlling what you're driving. You'll find yourself slipping all over the place, bashing enemies out of commission whether you mean to or not. And when you do, you get a camera panning slow down effect.
Clearly, the developers of Crossroads were inspired by the popular Burnout series, one of the major draws of which being that you could knock cars off the road with takedowns.
Cool! What original name do they call it in Crossroads?
Takedowns.
Cool.
But if the slippery controls of this game really aren't working for you and you're having problems hitting what you want when you want, have no fear, the shunt buttons are here.
Shunt!
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 Driving at insane speeds? Can't control your car to knock other cars off the road? No problem. Tap the left or right bumpers on your controller and your car magically jumps to the left or right, like you got side-mounted jet boosters and spheres for wheels.
It's so jarring when it happens that it may throw off your steering, causing further problems. They gave you one consistent offensive move and they made it this terrible.
You know what else really doesn't help with navigating the roadways here? I can't believe I have to bring this up, but this game lacks something that's been a basic option in most driving games since the dawn of 3D engines.
Viewing options. This game has only one permanent behind the car camera angle. No dashboard view or even a clean front hood view. Nothing. You can hold a button and switch to an opposing view to check behind your vehicle, but it isn't a permanent camera option. Again, this is from the freaking Project Cars people, a driving game with multiple ways to adjust your viewpoint.
You know what? I think it's possible that the lack of camera freedom was done on purpose so that you couldn't easily take in the plethora of graphics issues all around you.
I know it seems crazy, but if we had to pick which game looked better, we'd probably go with Slightly Mad Studios' original Project Cars release from 5 years before Fast and Furious Crossroads came out.
Project Cars features high-quality models, great-looking tracks, and realistic-looking people on the side of the road.
Yeah, they look like real people. You're saying Fast and Furious is worse?
Yes.
Now, if the controls, camera angles, and graphics were something we could look beyond, which we can't, the enemy AI is so unignorably hilariously broken that we couldn't help but stare stupefied.
In a chase sequence where the enemy's trying to flee from us, we decided to stop our vehicle for a moment. And guess what happened?
They stopped too. What good sports? They're just waiting for us to catch our breath so that we can give chase once more. It's like we're playing tag at recess.
If the tables are turned and the enemy's chasing you, the act of following us in a straight line seems like some mind-melting odyssey for them.
Fine, we'll slow down again and give them a helping hand with the whole killing us thing.
The AI is either impossibly busted, or the tentacle refurbished a bunch of old Chuck E. Cheese animatronics for their grunts.
That's a lot of bad, isn't it? But guess what? That's just the first level. Numero uno, tip of the chillingly awful iceberg.
If that instills a fear in you that the rest of the game might be as bad or even worse than the first level, great job! You're smarter than this guy. More story!
We meet two completely new characters to the Fast and Furious franchise. Vienna, a classic car nut, and Cam, a new age vehicle gearhead. They're Americans living in Barcelona, running a vehicle repair shop. We're also introduced to Vienna's boyfriend, Sebastian, who we quickly learn is financially tied to some pretty unsavory characters looking to cash in on his debt.
This section of the game has us completing riveting linear missions as we delve deeper into helping our pal Sebastian out.
Like picking up a broken down electric car.
Yay.
Or driving to Vienna's house.
Whoa.
Or getting to Vienna's house safely. Exciting, isn't it?
Eventually, we find out that Sebastian's debt collectors are the Tentacles. To pay off his debt, the team enters and then loses a street race. Now, in an even deeper mess than before, Vienna goes to Letty for help.
Soon after, we get to take the wheel of Cam's car. As we said before, Cam's a bit of a new tech car nut and drives a Jaguar I-Pace, an electric car.
Now, we're simple folk. We know little of the world of cars, but we found a few things interesting here.
1. We damaged the car and steam started emitting from the front hood. A pretty impressive feat for a car that doesn't actually have an engine under the front hood.
2. Cam has what we're assuming is some fancy vehicle hacking tech on top of their car for hacking cars, which is already kind of dumb, but it gets worse when you realize that the device looks like it's based on a repurposed generic gaming router.
If only we could change the camera angle so we could try to ignore these glaring mistakes. Heck, I tried switching to our non-permanent rear view camera for a short break, but then all I could notice is how the developers didn't bother animating the lip sync in a game released in the year 2020.
A truck that size is bound to have a cargo manifest. If I can hack it, I might be able to find out what it was hauling.
A first-person view probably would have also helped us avoid seeing the buildings pop out of existence in the back of this truck window.
Oh, but there are some problems that no camera angle could fix. For how can one truly prepare for that which cannot be seen?
Invisible walls?
Invisible walls!
Invisible walls! Oh yeah, you're gonna run into them. Despite this game almost feeling like an open world title, it's clearly designed to keep you flowing in a predetermined direction most of the time.
Clever! See, if this was an open world game, you'd get the chance to spend a lot of time driving around, noticing things the developers probably don't want you to notice. Here's what we found while following the restrictive flow of regular gameplay.
Fencing that, when knocked down, magically respawns upwards when you drive near it.
Drivers that completely disregard any logic or sanity when dealing with local traffic.
Streetlights that never, ever, 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 ever change. Seriously, we just sat here for a few minutes. Nothing.
Or how about obstacles that are set up for players to drive through that are practically unusable or cause bizarre physics hiccups, like this tube? Wait, that didn't look right. Let's try again. Okay, let's give that one more shot.
We found other sections of the game that were such a jumble of broken, they were plain baffling to us.
Here we're tailing a truck, and this truck is on a single set course that cannot be diverted. The AI driving it is focused and driven.
The traffic around the truck? Lost. confused, barely conscious.
We played this section multiple times, and what's shocking is that the problems here don't seem randomized. The jankiness plays out the same way every single time, as if the creators left it in completely broken on purpose. I mean, surely someone would have noticed this.
This severe lack of polish isn't just relegated to standard missions either. It's everywhere, even in big action set pieces where extreme emphasis is placed on what you're doing.
Here's a mission where we're supposed to steal a car to use in hijacking a semi-truck later on. When we start the mission though, the game wants us to speed out of a dealership showroom by smashing through a window.
Cool, but what if you say try to smash through one of the other windows in the showroom instead? Huh, looks like this window's a Waldo.
Later, we take the same vehicle through a building with destructible scaffolding. It suddenly jumps to slow motion to emphasize the coolness of the scene. Unfortunately, the only thing I can focus on is the car's bumper, which seems to have cloned itself and fled off at high speeds to the moon.
After the crew gets their stolen cars, they head out to hijack the semi-truck we mentioned. Here, Sebastian needs to jump out onto the semi, which, when done correctly, looks like he puts Michael Jordan and Gravity as a whole to shame.
Here's what that same scene looks like on our second playthrough.
And here's what we caught on our third attempt. We get separated from the semi by a row of concrete pillars and... Don't try this at home, kids. Sebastian is a professional at whatever black magic bullcrap just happened.
That's impressive! Sebastian can survive anything!
No, he can't.
Well, Sebastian kicked the bucket, and now Vienna wants ice-cold revenge. Both she and Cam join up with Dom and Letty to take out the Tarakol, whose leader, Armstrad, played by Peter Stormare, is up to no good.
In search for more information on the dreaded Tarakol, our heroes end up infiltrating a data center in Morocco. But things get messy, and they suddenly find themselves driving as fast as they can down a hill while a rock avalanche is barreling down on them.
We played this sequence multiple times because...
Because of that, which just kept happening.
We followed that icon in the distance again and again, but something was right in front of us that we kept colliding into that we couldn't see because...
we don't have camera angles to choose from.
Eventually we figured, hey, let's avoid the strange spot and just follow the road, because we're in a car. Cars like roads. Surely that is where we need to go.
Nope! Another invisible wall.
Invisible wall?
Invisible wall! Eventually, despite this poorly constructed game's best efforts, you'll make it through this section.
The information gathered from the data center lists GPS coordinates of other places payrolled by the Tarakol, and the team heads off to investigate.
I'm gonna be sick.
Well, sickness would be more fun than actually driving through this level, which has a sandstorm you can't see through paired up with no map.
They find an old abandoned train tunnel and train tracks. What could the game possibly be alluding to? They gather their team to investigate by leisurely standing around the tracks.
Get back!
A train! Wow! Who could have seen that coming?
Yes, sir, another quality action sequence from the folks that brought you Bumper, Fly Me to the Moon.
But don't take our word for it. Check out how Letty, the highly skilled Interpol agent, handles helping her crew up on this speeding train. That's the Crossroads caliber we know and love.
The team manages to uncouple a section of the train and they find an Eclipse device. A system capable of doing...
well, honestly, we don't know exactly what it does. Needing to know more about what the nefarious Armstrad wants to do with the Eclipse, the team decides to rendezvous with an undercover operative they've embedded within the Tarakol in New Orleans.
It's Roman, a familiar character to veterans of the Fast and Furious movies.
As yet another character joins the party, the game begins to get a little slow. Almost all of the missions feel like repeats of things you've already done at this point, involving knocking tons of enemies off of roads, boring races, or driving from location to location.
The best part is that the majority of the upcoming levels all take place in the same location. Same visuals, same buildings. The only thing they did was change the time of day. The only mission that stands out is when Roman has to help steal another Eclipse device.
Wait, why is he stealing it? He's the good guy.
Oh, well, to sabotage it before the real evil villains can steal it.
Wait, isn't that like stealing a diamond from a jewelry store before the thieves can steal it themselves?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
actually...
I guess it
kinda
sorta is.
what it is.
Vindication!
Well, when Roman does take the ball, suddenly you've got this giant orb hooked onto the back of his car that's gotta be around 5 times the size of his vehicle that he's driving. And then he starts smashing into random things all over the place.
The view of your car regularly gets covered up by the ball because it's so big. Again, alternative camera angles probably could have helped.
You don't feel so much like you have control of this ball because really, you don't. Your car doesn't feel weighted down or anything. It just feels like you have a giant loofah swinging around behind you.
The best part is when the ball gets hooked on something or interferes with the game somehow, and suddenly, while driving, you just lose. No timeout, no warning, you're just mid-drive and something happens.
So, Roman delivers the Eclipse to the bad guy.
Even I'm not that stupid.
Ormstrad apparently knew all along that Roman was working undercover, so he gets kidnapped and also gets a bomb strapped to his chest.
Roman screwed up.
But the golden rule of any video game based on movies is
Your main characters can't die.
So he'll be fine.
Turns out Armstrad is attempting to disable the American Strategic Defense Network by launching the Eclipse into space, weakening the US and making it vulnerable to attacks from all over the world.
Huh. How does this big ball actually do that, though?
The game never explains.
Okay, you know there's this protective net covering the country, like an invisible force field, whatever thing, right? Well, that Eclipse device is actually a satellite. And when launched, it'll allow Armstrad to temporarily...
Or if it did, I totally didn't understand it.
So next up, the team captures Ormstrad's son, who is the antagonist's right-hand man. They try to coax him into revealing where his father could be taking the Eclipse device.
The crew finds out where Ormstrad is, and they chase him down while he drives a hovercraft.
They catch up to him so they can finally find out what he did with the Eclipse, and Letty opens fire on him and hits him before he can let out one shot. Then, when he gets back up, Letty shoots him again.
They're like supposed to question him, right?
Right. Letty fired off 10 shots. It's lucky for everyone that Letty sucks at shooting things because Ormstrad is still alive.
They question him quickly before he dies, and he reveals that they'd find out where the Eclipse was soon enough.
Yep, because just across the field they're standing in, we see a rocket ignite.
No. Stop. So everyone got that info from Roman about the Eclipse being a satellite which needs to be shot into space to work, and the whole team didn't think to go to the nearby rocket launching center just to check to see if anything might be up? Are you kidding me? How did you not look there freaking first?
Yeah, well, seems like we're too late for that now. Rockets launching, Eclipse is going to space, nothing a group of car drivers can do to stop that. Roll credits.
You kidding me? Buddy, this is the Fast and the Furious. Of course they're gonna try and stop it.
So the team drives off at top speed to race down an active rocket.
A task that might have gone quicker if, again, we didn't have so many invisible walls.
Well, after they sheepishly drive around the invisible wall, Dom shows up with rocket launchers on his car.
He knocks down the rocket, saving everyone, only it's still active, so it shoots off into a vast rocket facility of some sort with the team chasing it in their cars.
All of this happens while Ormstrad's recently unemployed accomplices, due to him dying and all, were seemingly prepared for something like the rocket getting knocked off course. So they start to chase you while the team chases the rocket to, I guess, stop it or something.
Dom drives his car over top of the rocket and uses an EMP to help stop it, while simultaneously stopping time, jumping out onto the still moving rocket, and surfs it. Let me make that clear. Vin Diesel is now surfing on a space rocket. He's still got the moves.
Of course, Letty catches Dom at the last possible moment with her car, and now everyone is cool and safe. End of story.
What a wild, pretty fast, and pretty furious trip.
I'm almost sad the trip's over.
Oh, it's not over yet.
What do you mean?
Folks, we saved the best for last. Welcome to a collection of every glitch and problem that we saw in the cutscenes with
Just Bad Cutscene Theater!
In the beginning, after Dom and Letty take down the fire tank, Dom grabs the bad guy. Or he should, but he actually grabs thin air and not the guy's jacket. Having Dom's character model grasp the material from another model? Oh, that's impossible!
Letty then smacks a gun over the bad guy's head. For the eagle-eyed viewers out there, you may notice this. Letty's gun phases right through this guy's skull. This man is dead now. This is what death looks like.
Later, Cam is talking to Sebastian at his garage and a bus drives by. Wait a second. Freeze frame. Zoom. Is that driver standing upright and not holding the wheel?
Here's a scene at Vienna's place in Barcelona, where we learn about Sebastian's ties to the tentacle. Lots going on here, including a sunbeam overlay that makes absolutely no sense, Cam's model turning into some kind of alien for a moment, and Sebastian propping his arm up on an armrest that doesn't exist. Oh, I guess Sebastian's arm is just part of the chair now. Poor guy.
I'm more worried about the rampant cloning issues going on in this street racing scene. Now, pay attention. See this star shirt guy over here? Well, here he is a literal split second later, strolling hand in hand with a lady friend. Wait. Star shirt guy again?
Whoa, wait. Star shirt? Star shirt? Star shirt? Star shirt? I understand making the most out of an asset, but players can only suspend their disbelief for so much here, people.
I mean, at least pay a little respect to the details of your vehicles in your immensely vehicle-focused video game. Look, here these wheels are clearly clipping through the pavement, and later on, they're not even trying to pretend that this car isn't swimming through concrete.
We're now in New Orleans. The team meet Roman for the first time, and the concierge getting Roman's car is Star Shirt Guy. And the next day at another racing event, the infestation, it's spreading.
Here, when Roman is discovered to be an undercover agent, Ormsted's son shoots out a security camera. See this? Only part of the footage is scrambled. This is likely because the 16:9 camera jank footage created for the scene conflicted with the cinema-style black bars on the top and bottom of the screen. Good job.
In this sequence, Letty is escaping from a collapsing tunnel. Let's see if you folks can pick up on anything being amiss here.
While driving out of the mine at top speed, if we slow down the footage, you can see that the cave is actually already collapsed in on itself.
When the camera's focused on Letty as she's hightailing it out of there, several immense chunks of rock zipped through the car. Let's just hold on this frame right here. Beautiful.
Here we can see the rocks that were falling down over the mine entrance are now frozen midair.
If that wasn't bad enough, the view then pulls back to confirm that yes, these rocks are indeed defying the laws of physics.
A little later, Letty makes a phone call to Vienna and Cam to tell them that she's okay. And the tunnel? Completely debris-free.
Did the mine preemptively collapse? Did the collapse freeze midair? Did it never even happen? Which is it, game? Quit toying with us!
You know what the developers needed? Someone meticulously combing every little detail to catch the problems in these cutscenes. They needed someone like this Interpol agent right here, who is hyper-focused on this bare tabletop. Look at him. Scene after scene. Never breaks.
Here, this cutscene broke the game and crashed it. Yeah, I know that's not a funny visual glitch, but hey, it's still a glitch.
No, you know what? I think that's a pretty poetic way to end this. Fast and Furious Crossroads, an awful driving game, finishes with a crash.
So that's Fast and Furious Crossroads, a crazy mix of glitches, bugs, and insultingly bad gameplay.
In a weird way, the game actually made us want to play through it. We were in complete awe by how the game continually one-upped itself in jank. In that way, it's probably one of the greatest bad games we've ever played.
You might be a fan of the movie series, and if you are, then you might be able to find a lot of fun in Crossroads. We certainly did in our own special way.
But for anyone out there who doesn't like Fast and Furious or can't find the joy in absolute junk, you'll probably say,
it's just